Welcome to O'Reilly Maths. This is the 2019 Junior Cert Higher Level Paper 1. And we're looking at question number 3. The distance between the Earth and Mars is at least 56 million kilometers. 6 zeros is a million. Write this distance in the form a times 10 to the power of n kilometers, where the number a is bigger than or less than 1 and less than 10. So it's between 1 and 10. And the n, which is the power, is an element of the natural set of numbers. In other words, it's a whole number. Okay, so, right, well, 56 million kilometers, if we're going to write it in this form, if we just write, so if we represent the number a with a box, multiplied by 10 to the power of n, which we'll represent by another small box, okay? So what numbers can we put in here to give the value of 56 million? Well, this is called standard form, by the way. So the way we do this is at the moment the decimal place is effectively here. So we move the decimal place back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places. So the reason we move it back 7 places because then the number we get is 5.6. And the number 5.6 is a number between 1 and 10. Now, if we moved the decimal back 7 places, that means we divided it by 10 7 times. Okay, so to get the value of this to be equal to 56 million, we would have to multiply the number 5.6 by 10 7 times. So in other words, 5.6 by 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 by 7 times would give you the 56 million. So that's the answer written in standard form. Part B, standard form is used for writing very big numbers or very small numbers. So here we have a very big number. Here in part B, it says the diameter of a human hair is roughly 0.0075 centimeters this time. Okay, I suppose we should say here that's kilometers. So centimeters, this is a small number this time, for the diameter of a human hair is obviously going to be small. Write this diameter in the form b times 10 to the power of n centimeters, where again b is between 1 and 10, and n this time is an element of the set of integers. So n can be positive or negative. That's actually a little clue there. So the number b, if we write that as a box, multiplied by 10 to the power of n, which we'll say is another box. So remember that n is that box there. Okay, so this time we're going to move the decimal place forward 1, 2, 3 times. Why did we move it here? Well, now if you move the decimal there, you have a number here 7.5. 7.5. And this time, because we moved the decimal to the right, if you were trying to get from 7.5 back to 0.0075, you would actually divide it by 10 a number of times, or 3 times. So dividing by 10 is the same as multiplying by 10 to the minus 1. So if you're dividing by 10 3 times, it's the same as multiplying by 10 to the minus 3. So that's the standard form there. 7.5 by 10 to the power minus 3 is actually the same number as 0.0075. Okay, and part C says Lewis was driving at 90 kilometers per hour when he sneezed. During the sneeze, his eyes were closed for half a second. Work out how many meters he traveled in this time. Okay, so we have 90 kilometers per hour, and we want to find out how many meters he traveled in half a second. So if we change this speed here to meters per second, then we can find out what he traveled in half a second. So how do we convert 90 kilometers per hour into meters per second? Okay, so you can do this in stages, right? The best way to do it is, okay, it's in kilometers per hour now, so let's change it to kilometers to second. Let's change it to meters per hour. Okay, so 90 kilometers is the same as 90,000 meters, because there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So 90,000 meters per hour. Okay, they're the same. 90 kilometers in an hour or 90,000 meters in an hour, same. So now we want to change this, the hours into seconds. Well, how do we change hours to seconds? So we can do it by minutes first. So how many minutes are in an hour? Well, there's 60. So if you're going to do 90,000 meters in an hour, in a minute you would do this divided by 60. So let's just get our calculator out here. So 90,000 divided by 60, 1,500. So that's 1,500 meters in a minute. But we want it in seconds, so we divide by 60 again. To get it in meters per second, we're going to divide by 60 because there's 60 seconds in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to go 1,500 divided by 60, and that's 25. So 25 meters in a second. So remember here, we multiplied by 1,000 to convert the kilometers to meters. Then we divided by 60 to convert the hours to minutes. And then we divided by 60 again to convert the minutes to seconds. So it's 25 meters per second. That's his speed. That's the same speed as 90 kilometers per hour. But the question is, during the sneeze, his eyes were closed for half a second. How many meters did he travel in this time? Well, if he travels 25 meters in 1 second, 25 meters per second, in half a second, he'll travel half that distance. So it's half of 25, which is 12.5 meters. So that's the answer. 12.5 meters is how many meters he traveled in the half a second.